Hello and welcome to 60 Seconds with Sergio. I am your host, Sergio Cabanas, attorney at law here in Florida. Thank you for joining me today. Today's question is, Sergio, I'm involved in a divorce and my spouse is threatening to take the children away from me. Is that possible? Is there anything I should be doing to prevent the situation? Well, first of all, this is a very common threat. It happens in many relationships. If you take a step back and view the circumstances, it kind of makes sense. It's natural for people to lash out against one another, making such threats. Many times it gets emotional, there's a lot of arguments, and tempers flare on a very frequent basis. There's also a lot of uncertainty as to important subjects in your life, such as your children or your money. It's only natural for people to lash out on a very emotional level. This usually comes about because one of two circumstances may exist in a case. For example, one of these circumstances is where one spouse has spent the majority of their time raising the children. That parent may have been the one taking the child to and from school, doing their homework, bathing, putting them to bed at night, taking them to doctor's visits, etc., etc. Oftentimes that parent feels that they're more entitled or they're the better parent for having been more involved in the children's life, whereas the other parent is more dedicated to work and other activities. Another circumstance exists where one parent may come from a disadvantage in some way, shape, or form, such as having a medical disability, or having some kind of a checkered past involving some type of criminal involvement in the past, or coming from an abused background. But regardless of the circumstances, the truth is that the law prefers that both parents remain involved in the children's lives despite these circumstances and whether or not these circumstances ever existed or not. So the most likely result is that both parents are going to have some form of time sharing, usually, many times, equal time sharing unless it's agreed otherwise. Now there are a few exceptions, but they're often extreme. One such extreme exception would be when it can be proven that one parent has been in the past abusive, neglectful, or had abandoned the child or children in some way, shape, or form, and it's likely to occur again. Again, these are very unusual, extreme circumstances. In such a situation, the court will first have to determine whether such circumstances ever occurred in the past and would likely occur in the future. And even in those extreme examples, the court may decide to only temporarily restrict that parent's time sharing pending that parent undergoing perhaps some therapy, drug rehab, or some other applicable treatment program until they're able to have their time sharing restored. I hope this short video has provided you with at least some guidance over a very complicated area of the law. Thank you again for joining me today, and as always, stay informed so you can stay strong.